Yeah,
Welcome
it's
to
been a
Comeback
while.
City, a podcast for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie. I'm joined by my colleagues today, the original Bengals Real Talk members. We got my boy Moody, we got my boy Nardo, and Cleve. And today we're going to talk about all things draft, a little bit of free agency, and we're just going to, I guess, in a sense, touch on everything leading up to the draft coming up this week. So obviously, the Bengals made a lot of moves this free agency. It was definitely different. Marvin said he was. I mean, honestly, me personally, I didn't believe it, but hey, he went out there and did his thing. Not only did we sign some marquee free agents, but we also went out there and made a trade for Cordy Glenn. So just to recap free agency, obviously we got Zach Brown. I mean, not Zach Brown, I'm tripping. Preston Brown. We went out and grabbed a couple of other cats. But what were you guys' thoughts on free agency and what kind of impact do you see them making? Moody, we can start with you, bro.
Um, free agency was cool, definitely. Like we was active. Like we ain't been this active in years. I don't even remember the last time we've been this active. Well, we got started off with Chris Baker. We got Big Bake in the middle now, next to Gino. Well, we got Preston. That was out of left field. Like, ain't none of us really see that coming. Like, we all, wanted them, but at the same time, we was like, nah, they probably ain't gonna sign Preston.
Right.
Uh, those two definitely upgraded defense right there. They re-signed Tyler on a 1 year deal, which was big because he's a mismatch on the field, especially with AJ Green. So we keep them healthy. Mars the limit. Ain't even the sky, Mars.
Right.
so so yeah, that was big. I just think, you know, letting Russell Bodon go, that was also big. I mean, I don't mean to, to rag on dude, but we definitely need an upgrade at center. It's been 4 years of balls going over Andy head and defensive tackles blowing him up, being in Andy lap every time he tried to pass. So I'm very satisfied with free agency so far. And I believe, and I think it's, we've been the most active in years. Like I don't remember. Maybe the Antonio, what is it, Antonio Bryant days? What was his name? The one guy we signed that
Yeah,
never
Right.
showed. Antoine Oldham
he
days,
never
maybe.
played.
Yeah. So I'm satisfied.
Nardo, what's your thoughts on free agency? We definitely made some moves. I know you geeked about them.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
definitely
sure.
like the whole Cordy Glenn thing came out of left field, and I think that was I mean it was definitely huge about us. We was going it had us going in this draft not only looking for three positions um in this particular draft and the left tackle position in this particular draft is kind of shaky. Some good offensive tackle prospects, but trying to say that you're gonna come walk away with a good left is kind of hard. Which I think Duke told me did a good job of analyzing that and figuring that out. Like, hey, we may need to go another route. But the whole Preston Brown, um, I mean, that was like Moody kind of alerted to whatever. Somebody we wanted, but I also I kind of had a feeling due to dude just I mean that week he was kind of hanging a lot around PBS, so I'm like, all right, this I think it's really smoke to this whatever and everything. Dude spending too much time around PBS, and, and then also you didn't hear his name come up and none of the the rumor reveals and stuff like that. So that was another great move. And then the um, who was that? The Baker, Chris Baker. I think that was a solid move due to his relationship, far as with the staff, uh, um, with two of our coaches being coaches that he had in Washington. I think that's big, and he played exceptional well under those guys. So hopefully, he can bring that same attitude here. So I was satisfied overall, as far as with free agency. I think it kind of set us up for what to come this Thursday.
Definitely, I totally agree with that. Like you said, it sets the draft up for us to kind of be a little bit open and being strapped on one specific position. Cleve, what were your thoughts on free agency?
Our best signing was the signing we didn't do. We let Bodine go. We could put Moody out there at center. I don't care who we put out there. Anybody but him. We just seen that story happen too many times. We It sets us up to draft a center and put an actual decent center in there. And then the running defense was pretty much sold up with Preston Brown and Chris Baker. Them two positions, the key positions, because we was what dead last year in stopping the run. I think those two key positions we sold up.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think like all of y'all said, we had some very important people that we didn't resign, like Bodine was trash. I don't think you need to sugarcoat it, Moody. Dude was trash. Everybody knows that he was trash. The fact that we kept Eifert, I think, was huge because I was kind of I was kind of on the fence on whether or not they were going to bring him back. Like we all saw that he did get a couple of offers out there from San Francisco and Los Angeles that were pretty decent offers, but the fact that he wanted to remain loyal and wanted to at least give us one more year before leaving was definitely dope. I think that was a great move. Like y'all also touched on Preston Brown. I do remember Nardo saying that there was a possibility that Preston Brown could be signed. And I think you actually had sent me something from his Instagram, like you said, of him hanging out at PBS. You had texted me like, yeah, it might get realer after this. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was definitely a dope, underrated move that we made. And this was kind of like Moody said, this is kind of out of their character because even back when we went and got Antonio Bryan and those guys and Antoine Odom, they never were really like marquee guys that were age
Yeah,
25 or something like that. Like when you went and got a guy like Preston Brown, it's like you got the leading NFL tackler at 25. Like I've never really seen them do anything like that. Or like with Chris Baker, them getting a notable, defensive tackle because Antoine Odom, he was cool, but he kind of wasn't really like a big name. He was just like he had a random year where he just got off because Albert Hainsworth was just a monster or whatever. But like Chris Baker, you kind of know who he is, and he just kind of had some issues, more so just because of him not living up to the contract. But I mean, it could all come down to scheme and everything like that. Before that, when he played with the defensive coaches that we have, like Nardo touched on, having that relationship, he played some of his best football. So yeah, definitely was all solid moves around. And like Nardo also said, with the offensive tackle trade, that just really solidified everything. So I'll use that to segue into the biggest draft needs. Nardo, what do you think the Bengals' biggest draft needs are for this upcoming draft?
Biggest draft needs. First thing that comes to mind, I think the biggest draft needs is going to be a center and right tackle. As far as the two biggest draft needs, I think we definitely need depth as far as at the linebacker position as well as. But as far as the two biggest positions, it has to be the center and the right tackle at this moment.
Moody, what about you?
Um, yeah, I agree with Nardo. Center, right tackle, cover linebacker. We also need a playmaking safety. They may be, going to be kind of hard to find in the draft in the later rounds. So if someone like Darwin dropped in,
Right.
gotta pounce on that. Maybe D tackle too, D tackle depth. Um, but the biggest positions is definitely center and right tackle.
Clee, what do you think the biggest needs for this draft are going to be for the Bengals?
uh, number one center. That's by far the way the biggest problem. I actually think we got a few people that can play right guard and right tackle and be okay, but I think we need a free safety. We got two strong safeties in Iloka and Williams. Neither one of them is a real true center fielder. I think that's the position we need to go second. There's a few out there that can fit that position in the draft, but then after that, definitely will have to be linebacker. With Tez going out for the first 4 games, we need somebody who can step in for him. I don't think right now we have anybody who could step in for him. So those would be the top three positions I go after.
Yeah, I totally agree with y'all. Like center definitely seems to be the number one need, especially with Russell Bodine, who's been the starter there for a long time is gone now. You have T.J. Johnson, but we don't really know how good he really is. And there's nobody on the roster as of now that we could see at center, which is hard to say though because we do have Frank Pollock. So I'm not sure if he's identified anyone, but you would think the fact that they visited with the top three centers that they definitely have center on their draft board. Um, I think like Cleve and Moody said that playmaking safety, excuse me, is definitely needed because you can just tell ever since Reggie left, like we just don't have it anymore. It's just like nobody that can go back there and make those plays. And we kind of thought that it would be Sean Williams, especially given the same year that Reggie was scheduled to be a free agent. He had that big interception in the Steelers game, but the last 2 years we just really haven't seen it. And the Bengals have brought in guys like Eric Reed, who really isn't kind of that ball hawk safety. He's more of that box safety, but he has shown that he can pick the ball off. The Bengals definitely do need that. You talk about the defensive line, like you guys mentioned as well. There definitely needs to be some tackle depth there. We all are basically Andrew Billings fans, but truth be told, I don't know if it's because of injury or what. He hasn't lived up to it, but it's still kind of early on him to say that. But the biggest thing that the new defensive coordinator Terrell Austin said is that he wanted to stop the run this year. And I mean, you're talking about a division where we already have Lev Bell. We could possibly be facing Saquon Barkley. Carlos Hyde will be here as well. And you just look around the NFL, you look at a team like the Eagles, you have to be able to stop the run. Let's see. I think a low key position, and I don't think that it's one that they address early, but I think they do take one is tight end. And I think Nardo mentioned it yesterday. When you look at the next season, there's a lot of guys that are going to be gone, and not only just tight end. I also think defensive end is an underrated need too, because at the tight end position, you literally have no one outside of Mason Shrek signed for the next year. So who knows how that plays out? I don't know if they take one later in the draft. Obviously, they're still comfortable with Tyler Croft and Tyler Eifert and Uzoma, but I don't imagine that all three of those guys could be back next year. And then defensive end, we lost Chris Smith, so where exactly do they go in terms of depth? Carlos Dunlap is scheduled to be a free agent next year. They're trying to re-sign Gino. There's a possibility that if Gino gets this huge contract, if hopefully he signs before Aaron Donald, that could spell the end for Carlos Dunlap, which I would hope that that wouldn't happen. But outside of him, Michael Johnson is pretty much done. He's not coming back. You have Carl Lawson and Jordan Willis, but is that enough? We don't know yet. We don't know. So I think, like you guys said, also the linebacker is definitely a position that we can look to address. But yeah, I think you guys hit it on the head. Those are all needs. So with that being said, Cleve, who do you think, or like which position out of those do you think that they address in the first round?
Oh, center, center. Y'all know who I like, James Daniels. That's, I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if they didn't take him, but that's who we should take first round. Like Frank Ragnow, I could see him in the second, but my eyes on James Daniels in the first. That's who I would take.
What about you, Nardo?
Um, think the first round pick. I think if he's there, I think they're gonna take Deron Payne or Vita Vey. I think the Bengals. I can honestly see them at 21. If those three centers are still available at 21, all three are there, whatever. Them and those two DTs are there. I can actually see them making the gamble and to take one of those stud DTs and saying, "Hey, we feel that we can at least walk away one of those. We feel comfortable, and we feel that that one of those three centers will be there by the time we get ready to pick in the second round, or they may come up and get them in the second round. That would be if they do take the DT, I would come up early in the second round to lock my center up.
What about you, Moody?
Um, see, it just depends on who's there. The players I think who's going to be there. I think Mike McGlinchey at right tackle, he could be there. There's some talk about the Ravens taking him at what is it, 16, I believe. The Cardinals may be interested in him too. But center. I like James Daniels, like Cleve, like he really put me on with James Daniels. I didn't really notice him too much until Cleve told me about him. I think he probably is the best center in the draft. But at the same time, AK, you got it this maybe a couple days ago. You can get a center in the second or third, maybe third, but definitely the second. Billy Price most likely is going to be there in a second at that pick. More than likely he's to be there, or Frank Ragnow from Arkansas. So first round, I probably would. I wouldn't have a problem with Deron Payne at all. He's like Sue. He plays just like Sue, nonstop motor. Him next to Geno would like you can't double Geno anymore. Well, you can double Geno, but then Deron Payne gonna get off.
Right.
You don't run at him. Like watching his tape, teams rarely ran it. When they did run at him, they didn't get nowhere.
Right.
He was either in the backfield or stopping, stopping it right at the line of scrimmage. But my like if I really if I was dreaming right now, um, Derwin James, if he lasts to 20, that's my dream pick. What is it, 21? That's my dream pick, Derwin James. Playmaker,
That'd be the
six
only person
three.
who I'd take over.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 230, runs almost a 4.3 40, has ball skills. He a leader. He don't miss games really. I mean, he got that ACL in college, I believe, but other than that, he don't really miss games. No drama off the field. He's always all over the field. So at 21, my dream pick is Darwin James. But do I think he's gonna be there? No, I would definitely wouldn't mind Deron Payne from Alabama.
Right. I think y'all all made great points, especially Deron Payne. My thing is, I think that it's typical Bengals, man. Like outside of last year, which is kind of debatable to say if John Ross was the best player on the board at the time, but I think they go back to the best player
No,
available thing, and I think that a guy like Deron Payne, like Nardo said, I think Vita Vea, Deron Payne, Derwin James, like Moody said, even Mike McGlinchey in a certain situation, if he's still there, you probably still have to take him because he could be the best player available at 21. Um, even I think, even I think a guy like possibly like a Rashawn Evans, obviously Roquan Smith and those guys are going to be long gone. But I
There you
think if
go.
you have, like Nardo said, the three centers still on the board, or even two. I even think if they have two of them still on the board and they have either one of those guys that are available there, I think that you could take one of those guys that are the best player available that can immediately start, and they have them at a high position on their board, kind of like the Tyler Eifert thing, where he's just there, even though you already had a Jermaine Gresham. Eifert's just staring at you in the face. I think you have to take him. Let me ask you guys this. I'm gonna throw a curveball because we didn't talk about this before the show, but being that the Bengals have always taken a corner, what if a guy like Josh Jackson or one of the other corners is still on the board? Let me play devil's advocate and say a Denzel Ward, a guy who's supposed to go in the top 10, is sitting there at 21. What do you do? Take him or what do you do? Nardo, I see you shaking your head. I know you're against corner, so let me hear what you got to say about
Uh,
that type
Man,
of situation.
I think Ward is a special talent. Whatever, he's aggressive. He's all the corner you probably want. But is he gonna help us day one? I gotta ask myself the question: will he be? He gonna? I mean, in reality, he's gonna be fourth on the depth chart. That it ain't no way around it. I mean, I don't know. There's no way around it or whatever. He's gonna be deaf on the floor unless they gonna play him at safety. There ain't no sense of taking him at whatever and everything. I mean, we're in the win now mode, so I wouldn't take him though. I honestly wouldn't though. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Moody, what would you do if Denzel Ward was on the board? More than likely, we all know he's probably gone. But in that event, like the almost similar to the Darquez Denard situation, we didn't expect him to be there. What if he's sitting there at that position? Or it could also be like William Jackson III. Most people didn't expect him to be there. What do you do with one of those guys who's supposed to go in the top 10, 15 at the cornerback position, a position you don't need, like Nardo pointed out? He would be a fourth guy on the depth chart. Do you roll the dice and still take him?
mm, no, I can't. As special as Denzel Ward is, can't take a corner. Not in this draft. We need we need a day one starter. And with the history of Marvin Lewis and the depth we have at corner, because of the presence of William Jackson III, I wouldn't take him. If we didn't have Willow, I wouldn't. I would think about it. I would definitely take a corner early, but because of his presence, I'm not really worried about the cornerback position. And Darquez Denard definitely improved last year.
Right.
Like he looked good. Like I didn't see that coming. He was real good in the slot. I mean, we got Dre, but he's here long term. That's another. So we got 3 starting corners already. So
I know. Cleve gets sensitive about Dre when we get on Dre.
yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy. Don't talk about my boy.
What are your thoughts, Cleve? If that situation presents itself, what do you think the Bengals should do?
It would be tough because with Denard contract coming up, they might not resign Denard, given everybody else we got to resign. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Like if you in a win now mode, you couldn't
Right.
do it. You would have to take a position that will impact us most on the field this year. So for that reason, I couldn't do it.
All right. Well, I definitely agree with y'all. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I just can't put anything past this staff, man. Just
If
looking
it's
at
Minka Fitzpatrick,
if it's
then
Minka, would you do it then? Because
I mean,
technically Minka could play safety too. He
yeah.
could play
Well,
safety or
that's
corner.
what that's why if he lasted that long, which ain't gonna happen,
Right.
but if he do, he's playing
yeah,
free safety,
If it's Minka, yeah,
especially
because
with
he could play
Terrell.
like you said, he can play safety too.
Yeah,
That's a
especially with
good
Terrell Austin.
That's a good one to bring up, Moody. Yeah, Minka, and I think I don't know if I sent y'all this picture or not because I honestly didn't want Minka, but I'd be cool with it. After watching him, he is pretty versatile. I just kind of I just don't really believe in Alabama cornerbacks for some reason. Like they just haven't really done much for me in the league. And it's not that I don't think he would, but I remember there was a picture of Marvin Lewis like basically like looking at Minka during the Alabama Pro Day like he was plotting on him or something. I was like, oh man. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's
but
a great point. Yeah.
Minka, man, he plays safe. He's versatile. I think his best spot is going to be free safety anyway, because he
Right.
got he got some of that Jamal Adams in a way as though he's a leader on the field. Like a lot of people didn't see that with Jamal last year. Well, some people didn't. That's what made him special because he was a leader on the field too. Like you can depend on him. He's always, going to be in the right spots. He also make plays too.
Right. It's real
So
interesting with him and Derwin because Derwin is more so kind of like safety slash linebacker slash I might be able to guard somebody in the slot, whereas Minka is like corner slash safety. He's not really that linebacker, so it's like you almost get two flavors with the but let me play devil's advocate again. Okay, this situation happens and let's say um, the Bengals get to 21 and Lamar Jackson is still on the board. Lamar Jackson is considered the best player available. What do they do in that situation? Moody, what do you think they do there?
that's gonna be another hard one, but I can't take Lamar. I'm trying to win now. I don't think Lamar ready right now.
Right,
Um, and he won't play, because it's like Mike Brown, Marvin, they love Andy. So
right.
unless Andy gets hurt, which God forbid, Lamar ain't gonna play. That would be a future pick, 2 years, year down the line, 2 years down the line. So, but they say they do. Duke Tobin say he's in, they in win now mode. So you can't take Lamar at 21.
Nardo, what you think?
Hey, not
Oh, he's probably
He
okay.
be,
We'll go back. We'll get back to Nardo.
Yeah,
Cleve, what are your thoughts
I,
on Lamar?
I'm back.
y'all know how much I love Andy Dalton, right?
Oh Lord.
But I, but I still couldn't. I couldn't do it. Because like you said, if we in win now mode, I can't go with Lamar because he ain't gonna start. And I don't. I know the coaching staff ain't gonna let him start because he's not ready to go on the field day one. So if we in win now mode, I can't go there. I definitely can't go there.
Right. I totally agree. Um, I think you have to think about it, but I think if you draft Lamar Jackson, it causes a media stir because then it's like we already, and it's almost like we already had the AJ McCarron, Andy Dalton divide. Like Lamar Jackson would take that to an entirely different level, and I think like
Yeah,
that would have like a negative impact in the locker room because then you could potentially divide the locker room with guys who want to see Andy. Obviously, most guys will want to see Andy remain the starter, but then that would just bring a whole nother issue into the locker room. Me,
it'll
I'm kind of
divide fans too, though.
yeah, I agree.
It'll
I don't
divide the
know.
fans because
It definitely would
you
divide
now
the
you got people like me. You got people like me that they can't wait to Andy leave, but you have people that's die hard for him too.
right,
That he can't do no wrong in their eyes. So those it'll divide some people.
right.
It'll divide some people.
And see, to me, I think like the fact of I think you can draft Lamar, but you don't want to draft him in the first round because I think it sends the same message like the Chiefs sent last year when they picked Mahomes. It's like okay, the writing's on the wall. He's going to be the starter. Whereas if you pick Lamar in the second round, if he's still there, it's a situation where he is a player that needs a year before he can step in. Where then it seems like okay, well maybe this is a, a a future pick, like Moody said, that they could come to in 2 years once it gets to the point where Andy Dalton has to get his extension. So with that being said, I totally agree with y'all on all of that. Let's get into the mock draft for the first 2 rounds. Moody, who do you think? Like, I guess either realistically or who you think they should take? They should do which approach they should go with in the first 2 rounds.
Realistically, I think first round is going to be. I agree with Nardo. It's going to be Deron Payne. I don't think Derwin James is going to be there. I don't think Mike McGlinchey is going to be there because he's probably the best tackle in the draft. So I don't think he's gonna. I think either the Cardinals or the Ravens take him. Um, it's either gonna be Deron Payne or your boy Rashad Evans from Bama. So I think it's gonna be either one of them. I think second round we're gonna get. Oh, let me touch on Rashad Evans. He's like I know we kind of touch base on this, but he plays like a more versatile C.J. Mosley. Not they had the same number in college, but Evans can Rashad Evans can blitz off the edge, and he can blitz up the middle off the edge. He a strong tackler. So we add him. All you think about it, we add Rashad Evans. All three of our starting linebackers will be strong tacklers with Preston, and we all know how Tez hit. So
Right,
so all of them will be strong tacklers. Rashad Evans would be great for the AFC North because he also is great at taking on blockers, like stacking and shedding. So he's not the best cover guy. He's not the fastest, but he's great for the AFC North. He would come in great for those Steelers games. When you want to make a statement hit or something or a statement blitz, he's going to come through for you. His best spot might be Will, but I would put him at any of the three spots. He's versatile. Second round, I think we're going to take Billy Price. I like Frank Ragnar. I don't think James Daniels will be there. I think Will Hernandez, another guy that they were looking at, he's going to be gone. The guard from what is it, UTEP?
right.
Um,
Hernandez.
yeah, and I think Billy Price he wouldn't be there if he didn't get hurt because of that torn pec. I think he's going to be there, but I also think he's going to be ready by reports are he's going to be ready by training camp or week 2 of the preseason. I think he will be great in the AFC North too, with all the big nose tackles and things like that, like Brandon Williams from the Ravens and things, and Cam Hayward. So I think we haven't. I don't know if we picked the Ohio State player since Boom Herron, but
Right.
this gonna be a this gonna be a star Ohio State player that we take in round 2, Billy Price, center.
Cleve, what are your thoughts on the mock draft? Who do you think the Bengals will take with their first 2 picks, or who do you want them to take? Either one.
We ain't picked the Ohio State player since Boom Hire, and we won't pick one this year. Um, I'm going first round, James Daniels, and then I got in the second round, Rasheed Davis. I'm not Evans. I mean, I think he gonna slide to the second round, but we gonna pick him up in the second round.
Wow, that's
Wow.
a steal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely
but
tough.
yeah, I don't think we can pass him up in the second round. But I don't. Yeah, I think he gonna. I think it's gonna be a run of offensive linemen in your 20s. The quarterback's gonna dominate early. Then you have your run offensive lines late. I think he's gonna fall.
Mm.
Okay, that's interesting. Hey, that would definitely fall in line with the best player available, though. Like if he had a similar fall like Ray Luga did to the second round, when people expected Ray to go in the first and he's still there, I could definitely see him being the person that they take in the second round.
Yeah,
Nardo, what are
because
your thoughts? Oh, my bad, Cleve. I didn't mean to cut you
yeah,
off. Go ahead.
now it depends on what type of defense you run. You probably wouldn't pick him up. Like say if you run a 3-4, you go get Landry out of Boston College before him. So who's to say how highly he rated on people depth on draft boards?
That's true.
I got him at the fourth best linebacker.
So you have Van Der Esch over him.
Yeah, I got him over him too.
So
Yeah,
Roquan Smith, what is it? Tremaine Edwards.
Jermaine Edwards.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think most
and
people have
then
him as the Evans as the fourth rated linebacker in this draft.
I have him at my third over Van
Yeah, I
Ness.
like him over Van Der Esch too. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Van Ness not physical enough for me.
oh he
Right.
physical enough. He
Nardo,
good
what are your
enough.
thoughts on your two picks for what the Bengals are gonna do in the first two rounds?
Um, I think it's gonna be Deron Payne. I think how whatever and everything with Duke, just kind of reading. I mean, reading through they look the whole combine interview and them with them saying that they want to emphasize both sides of the ball. I think I mean huge focus there due to especially since rounds two to three is supposed to be heavy with offensive tackles. Um, I think getting somebody at Deron Payne status to solidify the defensive line in first round would be huge. And they second round, I think it's between Frank Ryan and Billy Price, especially now with Price medical stuff coming back for us in Indianapolis, saying that he's actually ahead of schedule and he actually will be ready probably by June. Be starting to work out by June. And being cleared by the NFL doctors and all the other team doctors as far as getting that clean bill of health. I think so. I think the Bengals will feel comfortable, even though we know that how we feel with them in a medical team stuff like that. But having the NFL doctors and other the Colts doctors and other doctors give him clean bill of health for us for early June. I think the Bengals might be willing to take him. So I would say Payne, and then I say Billy Price in the second.
Okay. I think when it comes to those two picks, I tend to agree with Nardo and Moody. Not to say that I don't think James Daniels is worthy of the first pick, Cleve. It's just the one thing that sticks out to me with James Daniels is the fact that he's 20 years old, and the Bengals they stay sticking to, well, I don't know whether it's a Duke Tobin thing. I really think it's a Duke Tobin thing because when you listen to him talk about the size that he likes, the consistency, it seems like the age is a factor. And I don't know if it's because the early 2000s where we had guys get in trouble for things off the field and they just feel more comfortable taking guys that are over the age of 21. I don't know if that's what the issue is or what it is, but they've always taken guys that tend to be 22, 23. Um, and I don't know if it's a maturity level thing. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. And that just goes for the first round because for the last 2 years, the first time they've actually taken guys that were 20, they took Joe Mixon last year and they took Andrew Billings, and that was the first time that they've done that, I guess, in the draft period. Like usually they had never done it, but they had actually did it in the second and fourth round. But we never seen it happen in the first round. So I think I kind of side with Nardo and Moody, thinking that they maybe actually do take a guy like a Deron Payne or Rashawn Evans if they're both there. If those guys are there, or even Vita Vey, I think Vita Vey more than likely is gone because this is a rare athlete that you've never seen. A guy 354 pounds that can not only play the nose tackle position but can also rush the passer. I think you have to
It
take
was
one of those guys, especially in the scenario that we talked about earlier, where Mike McGlinchey is gone, and some of these centers are still there.
it was
This
Vita Vey. Man, it was times where they put him at edge, on the edge,
right,
Yeah,
rushing off the edge. I don't know if y'all seen that, man. He's a
nah, I see,
beast.
yeah.
yeah, dude is
That
a
boy a
beast.
unicorn.
Dude is
Right.
definitely a unicorn for
Haloti
sure.
Nada ain't do that. They
Right,
compare him to
Nah,
Haloti, but Haloti ain't do that.
right, right. So I think in the first round, if we get there, you have to take one of those guys, either one of them. I think when you get to the second round, I looked at some of the trends, and like I told y'all, like 83% of the time they're taking an offensive player in the second round, and I think you have to address the center
Damn.
position. I think that is the perfect time to address it. You take your center right there in the second round. You don't wait until the third. I feel like you still have, like Nardo said, a Billy Price or a Frank Ragnow is still there, and you take them in the second round. Especially being that you have, the two third round picks. I think that's the way they go. So I mean, it seems like we kind of have realistic expectations for what
And
they
then
could do and who should be there.
and then say if you're able to scoop up Orlando Brown and with that first second, that first third round pick.
Right. True. If that happens, man.
Joe Mixon to be happy.
which,
Right.
which what could happen. I mean, it could happen that way. It could.
I'm over here looking in the chat right before we end this and everything. Somebody said, to be honest, it sounds like they've been drinking the Hobbs Kool-Aid, talking about to be honest, I could see us taking Calvin Ridley.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Who got a?
another same dude said that to be honest, it's probably time for us to move on from Dunlap. I don't know about that, Denzel.
What?
I don't know. I don't know
Come on,
about that.
man.
Hey, he
Los is a
must want
beast,
Cleve
man. Come
Bayless to
on,
come
man.
out.
Right. Hey.
He want
Um.
Cleve Bayless to come out.
One dude said that
Cleve Bailey.
One dude said that he hopes that we don't draft a center in the first round. This is Alex Gonzalez. He says that he wants to see either Wynn or Hernandez or Evans in the first round, if Evans is there, and then address center in the second round with either Ragnow or Price. I can see that.
see, but it wouldn't make no sense to me to draft a guard when we got people that can play guard. Like
Right.
we have people that can play guard and do a good job, and who showed they can do a good job. So why
Right.
would we spend our first round pick on that position? It just don't make good sense to me.
To
Like I
me,
was,
to me. Now, one thing I will say is I could see Isaiah Wynn because Isaiah Wynn can play like all five positions. He could play tackle, he could play guard, and he could play center. So if we were to
And he's
take
a
a
Georgia
guard,
guy. We
if we
know
were
how
to
he
take
Marvin
a
is
Love
guy
is
a
a
that
Georgia.
Georgia guy.
exactly, he's a true Georgia guy. Honestly, I think that he's the sleeper pick for 21 because if he's there, he's a guy that Frank Pollock can say, okay, I can put him at tackle, I can put him at center, or I can put him at guard. And to be honest, like given the fact that we have a new offensive line coach, he might see different fits for this scheme. And I mean, you do have guys like we talked about Alex Redmond and Christian Westerman, which we don't know where he wants to put them at. We don't know where
Right.
Cedric McWay he's gonna go. We don't know where
Yeah.
what they want to do with Fisher. So
Oh, they going to right.
I could see
They
Isaiah
going to
Wynn
right
being like
tackle.
the safest pick.
Say gonna be our right tackle.
Nah, bro.
Oh
If
my,
Sam
come on,
is
man.
right tackle, I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Said is
y'all know it.
definitely
I'm
not going
calling
back.
it. I'm
You
saying
I'm
it.
done.
I'm saying it right now. He's gonna be our right tackle. Y'all
you
can agree with
trolling.
me. Y'all don't
You
have to.
trolling right now.
He's super
No,
trolling.
no,
This is
no. Nah, nah, I'm
before
not
I
trolling.
hear
I'm
that
dead.
I don't even know who that is. So this dude, David Sneer, maybe y'all know who this is. He said that we should take Rashawn Evans or Mike Garcetti. Have y'all heard who is Mike Garcetti?
Gasecki, the tight end from
Gasecki?
Penn State.
Gasecki?
Tight end.
Gasecki.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what
He
he's. I
said
think
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
Gasecki.
okay,
And he's
cool.
not a first round pick.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
taking
I haven't
him
heard of
in the
that too.
first
I
round.
haven't heard like say if they go tight end in the first round, I think it's almost in the same line as cornerback. I don't know why you would
Yeah,
do that because tight ends they
I
definitely not doing
people
it.
fell in his combine. You had a lot of people fall in love with him after the combine, but
because
those are
he
just
4'4",
workouts.
4'5", right?
Yeah, and I just
Yeah,
they're not getting on. It's just like Nardo said, you're gonna be fourth on the depth chart. You're not getting on the field this first year at least.
not only that,
My
he
dude
can't
said,
block.
what do y'all think about this? I'm not mad at it, but it kind of scares me because then it's like, who do we put on the offensive line? And he said Rashad Evans in the first, and Justin Reed in the second.
See,
Safety out of Stanford, Eric
those
Reed's brother. Nardo is
that,
like,
those was my two second round picks that I was tossing back and forth on.
That's
But
not
first
too bad.
round, now we gotta
If
go.
Fisher and Cedric was certified, whatever, you could do that. But after what happened last year, you can't do that, man. They know Bengals know pretty much they can't go into this season with suspect offensive line because last year it trickled down. Even I think even AJ Green spoke about it, saying that how the offensive line affected pretty much everybody on the whole team. You had the defense on the team out on the field long, playing damn your whole game, 45 minutes of a game, and then you got none of your special skill players could be able to run run
Anyone?
routes and stuff and everything because they can't because by the time you say hut whatever you got your centers 5 yards in your quarterback lap looking at him trying to figure
Get
out what the
ready
hell you
for it.
doing.
Nardo,
At started
remember
right
remember
tackle.
last year. Remember what I said when everybody was like, we need to take a wide receiver, we need to take Mike Williams or whatever. I said the same thing that you're saying now. You're not gonna have time to get it to him because you don't have anybody at the offensive line, especially when you lose a guy like your boy Witt and Kevin Zeitler the same year.
And you know what? And I agree with you. The only thing is the Bengals gambled last year. They in which I understand that the gamble they made and the reason why that but they gambled thinking Said and Fisher was going to be able to step up the next year.
Right,
And also they gambled also on the thing figuring that the scheme with Ross will help solidify, will help cover some of the holes in the offensive line as far as quick passes and stuff like that. And
right,
all that didn't come to light when I mean it's a multi me of course as far as the coordinator and then as far as Ross not being healthy and then everything it was a snowball effect basically.
right, right. No, I
I, I
totally
think they
agree.
thought I think they thought they would run block a little bit better than that too. They run
He
blocking
was
was
wrong.
horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah,
But
what
but
if you
I
had
I
that
have to
same
think
that same scenario, Nardo, but Billy Price is available in the third round? Would you be open to that, or it's just like, nah, we gotta
No,
address offensive line at
we
least in the
got
first 2 rounds?
I
Period.
think I think BP you can go ahead and do your BPA for as first round best player available. But when you
Right,
start getting around two and three, you need to go ahead and get your needs out the way.
right, and I agree with you because the same thing that we've heard from the front office this entire offseason is that offensive line is like what they're concentrating on. And I think last
You
year they
better.
said it was speed. We saw that they did that with drafting
You
Willis,
have to.
Jordan Evans, John Ross. This year they're emphasizing the offensive line, so I think they definitely, like you said, have to address the offensive line within the first 2 rounds. Um, but that will wrap up everything for our Bengals draft roundtable. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love seeing the comments in there. Love always having my dudes on. Hopefully, we can get together again in the future, if possible, to try to do like a recap or something like that. But as usual, we'll leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.
Who they?
We out.